Hey guys, what's going on? This is Yusuf from Tech Droids, and today we're gonna review the Motorola Moto E second generation. So this is a budget phone, and this is Motorola's attempt to bring a fair enough, good performance device on the budget. And let's see how well has Motorola done. So stay tuned. This is Motorola Moto E second gen reviewed. So the Motorola Moto E second generation is Motorola's attempt or try to bring a fair and good enough device on a budget. So to do that, Motorola cut it down on accessories at the start, but the new packaging ships with a pair of headphones, which are not really good but are not terrible either. And props to Motorola for at least including them. But most of the budget companies nowadays who make budget devices don't even put in a pair of headphones, and sometimes they don't even put in an adapter. For example, the NVIDIA Shield tablet last year. Now the Motorola Moto E second gen comes in this good nice little box, which packaging is cutted down but it is not bad. So now let's get into the full review and check it out how this baby performs. So talking about the build quality, the Motorola Moto E is built like a tank and feels really sturdy. But this is a bit on the thicker and heavier side, but is not a deal breaker for me. The phone has a soft touch back which is made out of good materials, but the phone is on the slippery side. So to balance that, I slapped on a case which balances the slipperiness and adds an extra bit of protection. So if you are really into that kind of things, then you can go ahead and hook it up with a skin from D brand, which I'll link below. But putting a skin on such a budget device doesn't make any sense, guys. Now, when we buy budget phones, the only thing that manufacturers disappoint us is either in the camera or in the display. But we'll talk about the camera later, but the Moto E second gen does not disappoint on the display. It has a 4.5-inch display with 540 into 960 resolution, which is not HD but gives it a pixel density of 245 ppi, which tends to get fairly bright and colors are accurate, but the viewing angles are on the fair side, but they are not bad either. And watching YouTube videos or doing day-to-day stuff or consuming content on the internet is not a deal breaker on the Moto E second generation. When we come to budget phones, we don't talk about specs much, but the Moto E second generation is rocking some amazing specs. It has a Snapdragon 210 chipset, 1 GB of RAM, and Adreno 305 GPU, and comes with 8 GB of internal storage, out of which you would get at least 4 GB, and which is enough for normal use. But if you're a power user, you can take use of micro SD card slot, which is available by removing the side bezel that comes off and gives you access to the two SIM card slots and the micro SD card slot. Now, the slot can take up to cards with 32 GB of storage, which is plenty for doing all the high-end stuff on a smartphone. But keep in mind that the apps will not be moving to the SD card. Talking about the buttons and ports, on the side you have your power button and volume rockers. On the top, you have your earpiece, your 0.3 megapixel VGA camera, and a couple of sensors. On the bottom, you have your micro USB port for charging and data syncing. On the back, you have your traditional Motorola dimple and the 5 megapixel camera. And the phone is really slippery with the soft touch back. Now, talking about the UI and interface of the phone comes with Android 5.1 Lollipop out of the box, which is really good and was the latest version when the phone came out. It seems to handle it fairly well. Multitasking and switching between apps is a breeze. And you can do stuff like watching YouTube videos and playing some games if you can fit it in the storage, because the microSD card will not support the app data that you put in. And fairly, it gets a thumbs up from my side in gaming and stuff. So let's play some games and YouTube videos. So the display is fairly good, and watching and consuming content is not a very big deal. But my internet connection was really slow at that time, so you can see that buffering wheel. And yeah, I am not really good at playing games, so here's some horrible gaming from my side. Camera is not cheapest at anything. In fact, it is improved over the last version with the first generation Moto E, but it is a mediocre camera. You can get some decent shots in some decent lighting conditions, but low light performance is not that great, and the camera app is really slow, and shutter, like when you click a picture, it takes time to go in view, and it is not instantaneous. Nothing can happen instantaneous, but it is just slow. You have touch to focus and exposure settings. You can record time lapses, video at 1080p full HD, but it is just slow. Now, I'm not going to talk much about the front camera either, but here are some selfies that I took with it. And they seem to be pretty decent, and it will suffice your need for all kinds of Skype calling or vlogging, maybe. So that wraps it up, and guys, this was my review on the Motorola Moto E second generation. Now this is not a bad phone, and the camera is not bad or cheapest at anything, but if you don't want some quality pictures and videos from your phone and you're on the budget, then the Motorola Moto E second generation is a solid pick for you. And yeah, it will suffice all you need. It can do gaming and watching videos and listening to music and stuff. And that is it for my review of the Motorola Moto E second generation. Do give it a massive thumbs up if you like what I do on the channel. Go check out my channel, what else do I do, and subscribe to the channel if you like what I do. Then if you have time, then comment on my videos. I need some suggestions and advice to improve as I'm in my initial stages. And that is it, guys. And announcement or an update that I'm gonna start a new show called Tech Talks Weekly, so which I'll be doing every week on Thursdays. And this is a show or videos which I will take a look at not devices but some myths in the tech world. And the first episode will be about phone boosters and PC boosters. Like, there are apps on the Play Store that tell you that if you download them, they will speed up your phone. So this was a announcement, quick announcement for my new series. Do stay tuned for the next videos, and that is it, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.